It is 6 o'clock. We'll all rise, if you would. Call this meeting to order and all rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would remain standing, let's have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, welcome everyone out tonight to the public hearing. Few rules for public hearing. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comments, and we welcome all the comments, and we're going to do it kind of in category. We're here to listen to your comments tonight, and we'll take them up again later on at a work session. So we'll get started. Mr. William Bottom is on the list first here. I guess he'll be the first guy.
Mr. Chairman, you may want to make sure everybody's had a chance to sign up that wanted to.
Is everybody, before we get started, is everybody signed up on the paper that wants to speak? If they've not, we'll entertain that at the end of the meeting. Go ahead, sir. Okay.
For me.
Okay. Right ahead.
Commissioners, thank you for the invitation, allowing a lot of these organizations to and people to comment on the fiscal year budget coming up. More on the money on the table. At least it's on top of it, not under it. I'm here speaking on behalf of the Allegheny County Rescue Squad tonight. Back in February, Chief Jason Long, he came in and gave a proposal that we needed $105,000 to operate. That's at the very basic level. Am I right, Jason? And he received a letter last week stating that the allocation for the rescue squad was $40,000, $65,000 cut. That's going to really hurt. I know they do some fundraising opportunities, in which the barbecue chicken they had last month, or earlier this month, brought in a whopping $471. So fundraising is really tough right now. So what we're here tonight is to ask, are there any possible way to get more funding allocated to the rescue squad? The services they provide is invaluable. When both county ambulances are out on a call or out of the county, the rescue squad's the first one they call on. They provide all kinds of medical services the same level as you get from a county ambulance. These guys are well trained. They spend hundreds of hours a year in training, and they really need your support and your help. Now, you see the money on the table. That's $3. It could be a call coming in. You see the $3.64 on the table. Under the current allocation, every person sitting in this room, that's how much money each person is valued at the current $40,000 for rescue squad services. To get it up to the $105,000, that's only $9.55. So tonight, I'm asking you, if there's a will, there's a way. We need more money for the rescue squad because it's very important we keep them so they can keep coming and providing medical standby at all events at the fairgrounds, including high school football games and any other events that's around in the county. They not only have just a little tiny district like most fire departments do, they cover the entire county. And these guys really need your support, and they really need it now because they keep dipping in to the reserve fund. Eventually, they close the doors. We only have 2 ambulances on duty, and both are out of the county. Who do we call? Ash, Wilkes, or Surrey? That's it.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your comments.
Mr. Chairman, can we put up the timer?
We got the timer. We got 3 minutes per person, too. You got to go. Okay. Okay. Can't put it on the board?
And you'll see the minutes on it.
Okay, all right. Anybody else on the rescue squad? Please come up, Ben.
I'll give you a rundown. Look, how much time we got left?
3 minutes.
Okay. I won't take that long, but just give you a rundown just on 2021. So far to date, there's been 108 active standbys for the county EMS. We responded to 452 total calls since January to March, or to May the 20th. Just in standbys alone, we spent 106 man hours on standbys at the building. We have transported 6 times in our ambulance. One was out of county transport. We've had 2 motor vehicle accidents. We've had more than that, but 2 motor vehicle accidents that required removing of a trapped victim, and one was a fatality. Our membership is increasing monthly. We have 8 paramedics on duty, 1 advanced EMT, and 8 EMTs, a total of 23 members. With that being said, they're all volunteers. We don't get fire tax money or tax-based income. We rely on our fundraisers and our county support to keep the doors open. In 2020, you know, the fund was cut down to $25,110, which left us dipping $75,000 out of our reserve budget. If that continues to happen, we're looking at, with our reserve budget, approximately 3 years of service to continue. So that's where we stand. I'll be happy to answer any questions whenever you feel deemed to, and we'll go from there.
Take your comments, and we certainly appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Anybody else on the rescue squad?
I think these guys said a whole lot, and I've got to remind everybody, that's not all we do is run ambulance. We do provide high-angle rescues right out on the parkway. We do search and rescues, trained in, hazmat if we need it, dive. So we have, I think, 5 things we're certified in, other than fire departments, just fire and stuff. We've certified on a whole lot more than just running calls for this service. And it is all free. We got to buy our drugs to carry on the ambulance to provide care. We got we're certified in motor vehicle accidents, farm machinery, and that's a lot. I spent a whole week just learning how to tear a combine apart. And high and low angle rescue, and we got open and swift water rescue. We're dive and search recovery, land search and rescue, ice rescue, and then we do mutual aid for hazmat events and different things. So we are certified for quite a bit of other things that we also need equipment for all that others to keep our certification to and our doors open.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Yes, sir.
Our county contract that we signed, the last one was in 2017. It's got all these listed. I'm sure y'all got a copy of all the requirements that we're required to do, or that we're projected to do, I should say. And also states, you know, that we are the only primary backup for the county UMS. We respond to all medical response calls and motor vehicle collisions and provide medical standby that requires any medical coverage. That could be fairgrounds, football, anywhere, Heritage Festival. I know with that current contract and the current budget that's proposed, we can't fulfill it. There's no way possible on $40,000. I know I'm just requesting that you relook at it and help us out a little more. The town has come in with a 70% increase off their budget, and, we need all the help we can get.
We certainly appreciate what y'all do. We appreciate your comments, sir. Anybody else with the rescue squad that wants to speak?
Chairman.
Appreciate y'all giving us this opportunity.
Everybody needs to identify their name when they come up, please, for the,
Marion Lees, and I'm on the board of the rescue squad, and I've been serving on the board for 6, 7 years, somewhere around in there. But last night, we had a board meeting, and we went over all these figures, and ironically, while we were there during the board meeting, we got a call from county EMS that our guys needed to go on standby because both ambulances were tied up. Now, you know better than what I do what it costs to put on an ambulance, to put on the 6 people that it's going to cost to man that ambulance because of the rotation of the shifts and everything else. It's a whole lot more money than what we're asking for. And all I can do is echo what a lot of these people have already said. We're all volunteers. They put in all their own time. We don't get any compensation. We can't bill for when we transport somebody out of the county. We don't bill when we have to go have an assist to lift somebody up because they've fallen. We can't bill when we do standby time. And all that comes out of our operating expenses. And as Jason said, the way things are going right now, I talked to last night with the lady who does our books and does our accounting, and she said if everything goes good, goes the way it's supposed to go, no problems, we've got about 3 years and the doors are going to shut at current funding. So I'm just asking you, what's it worth to Allegheny County to be without a rescue squad? What is it worth to Allegheny County to have a rescue squad that is capable of doing anything that's asked of them? You don't find that every day. And all these guys have done it on their own. They spend countless hours keeping up their certification. Getting the certification, that's one thing. But then they have to maintain that certification too, as you all know. So we're just asking for you to go back and look at what you have and what you can do to help us.
thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Anybody else with the rescue squad? If not, we'll move on down to hospital. Anybody with a hospital? Allegheny Health.
Actually, I think we're signed up second to go for
Oh, I got you.
the chamber.
Allegheny Chamber of Economic
Yes,
Development.
sir. Thank
Go right
you.
ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, I'm Ricky Brown, and I'm here representing the Allegheny Chamber for Economic Development. Last year, we came before you to describe a new vision for economic development for the county. We received your endorsement with a 4-to-1 vote, and we very much appreciated that support. Since then, we've been working hard to reorganize and staff and to begin the long-term work to increase the county's prosperity, both community and economic development. As you know, the Chamber took over the contract to market the county under the Authentically Allegheny branding, and these efforts have continued, and Lisa Bottomley has kept you apprised of these efforts. As we move forward, your funding will continue to support the county's marketing efforts, which are critical for economic development. Your support of our new effort came with the expectation that your financial support of $50,000 per year would continue. Also, there was an expectation that we would work together to achieve results for the county. It is important that we have both the county's money and engagement so that we can be successful in the future. We have been informed that our funding level for the next fiscal year is $28,700. This is a significant reduction of over 40% and places our effort in jeopardy. We need to be more focused and prepared to market our county than ever. We need to continue to leverage the growth opportunity that we've seen from the impact of COVID. Remember that our financial model includes funding from the town, and the TDA at current levels, along with a significant effort to increase private investment. While we could move forward, the reduction in financial support and the perceived reduction in engagement that this implies
may doom our efforts. There were comments made by Commissioner John Irwin at your last meeting that I'd like to address because they were specific to the budget. First, he said that on March 2nd, we attended the town council and told them we needed no funding. That is not true, and anyone watching the replay of the meeting would see that. There were also no meetings with any council member or the town manager that reflected such statements. Second, he indicated that during our budget committee meeting, we indicated as such. Commissioners Osborne and Bobby Irwin know that we requested full funding. In those back and forth conversations, we indicated that while reduced funding may allow us to continue to operate temporarily, without full funding and engagement, our efforts would be futile. We are respectfully asking for the full funding of $50,000 and for your active engagement and support of our efforts. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Anyone else with the chamber? Seeing none, we'll move on down. Miss. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you jumping. See you get up back there. Go right ahead.
Thank you all for letting us speak tonight regarding the budget. And I'm really not just up here for the Allegheny Chamber for Economic Development. I just want to remind the county commissioners that any 501c6, any 501c3 in the community serves purposes of community betterment and to relieve the burden of government. And when I look at our county as a whole and on all these organizations that have asked for funding and have some of their funding has been decreased, I know it's a very difficult decision for all of you. I realize that, and you have a county to run. But as each one of us comes up here and asks for, reconsideration of funding, just please keep that in mind, that you have groups of people through this community who are willing to do the work, who don't get anything out of this except for that they want to help their community and the people who live here. And I think it's important for all these people in the room to know that you support that and that what they do means something. And I can't even imagine where we'd be without like the rescue squad or the library and of course the Chamber for Economic Development. Like I said, we don't get anything out of this. We just want to see Allegheny County grow and thrive. The statement that we are poor but proud, we can't be proud of being poor, a poor county. We need to help the people make money here in the county. We need to create businesses. We need to work on workforce development, housing, and just all around community betterment and community development. So we ask that you, again, reconsider the funding for the Allegheny Chamber for Economic Development, but also for all the other 501c6 and 3s in Allegheny County. Thank you.
Thank you. We can move it on down the list. Ms. Pat Jolly with the library.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Pat Polly, and I'm wearing two hats here tonight, actually. First, as the chair of the Northwestern Regional Library Board, and second, as the chair of our Allegheny Library Board, of which I have managed to serve on both of those boards for somewhere in excess of 12 years, and I go off the board this year, so I think this is my final hurrah. But I wanted to begin tonight. I think we have quite a lot of library supporters here in the room tonight, and I'd like to ask all of them to stand if they would. As you can see, we have quite a good amount of volunteers who work constantly to help the library and to do whatever we can to assist with the library. Thank you. I know your job is difficult, and I know it's not something that is easy, and I know it takes up a great deal of your time. However, I have 3 issues that I wish to discuss with you tonight as we talk about the library board and the support of the library. First, the Allegheny County budget for the library last year was cut $9,000, and we were told because of that, because of the difficulties that were faced with the Allegheny County fund balance. The library book line was completely deleted, as well as extra fund for those people who have to have a day off every now and then or get sick. We have to have extra help come in and assist. Because of that, the library hours have changed. We're no longer open all Friday afternoons, so people don't have the access to the library that they once had. Second is the study was completed in 2018 for the Northwestern Regional Library employees, of which Allegheny County is a member. That proposal was to bring the salaries of our library staff up to where they should be for comparable jobs in our community. That study was paid for by the Northwestern Regional Library. We, of course, were having a difficulty to attract sufficient staff, qualified staff, because of that. Allegheny County, you approved the first year of that pay plan in the past fiscal year, not this fiscal year. In that first year, you did approve it along with the all 4 of the counties within the Northwestern Regional Library. Last year or this fiscal year would have been the second year of that effort to bring those salaries up to par. Well, because of the difficulties, it was not funded. That leaves the third year still unfunded. It has been 8 years since our library staff received any sort of a pay increase. I think that is more than unfair to that library staff. We also understand that contained within this year's county budget, there is a 2% pay increase for your staff. We also understand that perhaps 2 years ago, there was another pay increase for your staff. The library employees are not part of that group, so therefore they receive nothing. So I'm here tonight asking you to fund that second year of our pay plan. We know that you have difficult times, and we know that things are hard all over. The third thing I want to discuss is the maintenance of effort, which is an effort to maintain funding which is required by the state of North Carolina. Anytime that you, the county, takes and cuts the budgets for the library, we lose money at the state level. I mean, just flat out lose it, because they take and average out the funding, and if it has dropped, our funding goes down. Debbie has some material that she's going to hand out to you, and that reflects the amount of service that is provided to the public. And as you can see from looking at it, and I'm not going into detail with it, as you would suspect, the number of people who are who have been in the library in this year, COVID year, has been down, as you can see. However, if you look at all the other materials, you will see that it has been up. I'm going to ask Debbie to talk a little bit about some of the changes that she has had to make at the library in order to make things work this year, and because we have had to be closed at various times, and it's just been very difficult to do. I would like to ask you to fund the library at the full funding level, so we can get our employees the pay raises that we think that they are certainly entitled to have, and also to fund the amount of hours that we can be open, and all the other things such as books for the library at a reasonable level. So I would ask you to reconsider some of your decisions and fund those things at the level as asked for. If you have any questions, I'd be pleased to answer them. If not, I'd like Debbie, the librarian, to tell us a little bit about some of the things that they have had to go through, and as a result of COVID, as a result of all that has happened this year, because the library couldn't be open, you couldn't get within 3 feet of each other or 6 feet of each other, books had to be impounded, and there's all sorts of other things that staff has had to go through and deal with this year. Not that everybody else hasn't either, we also understand that. But, you know, we want you to understand, and I know you realize, that the library serves all ages, all people, everybody in this county. Thank you.
Thank you.
In your packet, in your thing I just handed out, if you'll notice in the middle of the inside there where it says the numbers, and these are actually region-wide figures, but we were closed from April to June 2020 due to COVID. And all of us, this whole community, everybody worldwide's had to deal with these things. But I wanted to point out some things here. As you notice, our collection use went down because we were closed during that time. Our library visits also went down because we were closed. But if you look down at the digital materials, our e-books, our e-audio, our e-resources, the devices we have, the website visits, all of that increased quite a lot. So during the time we were closed, our staff was in training, doing webinars and different things to prepare to serve the community in a different way. We no longer could have people come in like we had, so we had to learn a different way of serving our public. And we thank you for the times that you've supported us. We ask that you can, reconsider or consider, because we're looking at $18,000 from last year and this year. If we do the cut as proposed this year, we're talking about $18,000. That not only impacts us, but it impacts all 4 counties of our regional system. Our regional system provides our HR services, our technology. We get grants through the state. Our NC Cardinal system that we all check out books at is now statewide. They provide that for us. The NC Works. We have NC Kids Digital. All these things that come through the services from our state library, that's what's provided through that, and more, and our technology. So all those things that we could not operate without are coming through our state and providing services through the county, through the 4 counties for our libraries. So appreciate it, your time, and hope that you will reconsider and take a look at that. We thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Ms. Carolyn Sprinkle? No, okay. Next, Nick Hawks.
May I take Carolyn's time?
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Joyce Spees. I'm a member of the library board. I'm also the manager of Books and Friends Bookstore. We also took closures during the time of COVID, high COVID time, and we used that time to do some things in the store that we wouldn't have been able to do if we'd been open full time. And I really just have one sentence to add, and that is that what the rescue squad does for the body, the library does for the mind.
Thank you. Nick?
Good evening. My name is Nick Hawks, Chief Deputy, Allegheny County Sheriff's Office. Wrote my thoughts down so I wouldn't get scattered, and I can speak quickly and move on. The sheriff asked me to be here. He is sorry he couldn't make it, but his JV-age son has earned a starting position as a pitcher on the varsity team this evening. So I wanted to refresh your all's memories, so I have a couple of years' stats, and I averaged them together just so I could give you some thoughts. But currently, we're averaging about 20 calls for service a day. We're averaging just shy of 700 arrests a year. We're averaging around 581 serious investigation crimes, things that are taking time to investigate to get to a conclusion. 581 of those. And our 10 marked patrol units, the guys in the marked vehicles, are averaging right at 201,000 miles a year patrolling. That does not count me, the sheriff, the detectives, and others' mileage. So I just wanted to give you those as a reminder of what we're doing. I also want to read you a paragraph from the United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I felt it important to read this paragraph of our great Constitution because it reminds us of how important law enforcement is to the general welfare of our citizens in the pursuit of happiness and the enjoyment of this great American experience. All of our staff have proudly sworn an oath to uphold these words just spoken at all cost, to include death. As law enforcement administrators, it is our duty to ask you for the resources needed to perform our job to the best of our abilities. I appreciate your time and your consideration to our needs.
Thank you. Next is Brandon Keener.
Good evening. I'm Brandon Keener, the County Ranger for Allegheny County for the North Carolina Forest Service. And I'm here tonight just to emphasize the need and the appreciation for the funding for the Forest Service. As y'all are aware, but many are not, the county operations of the North Carolina Forest Service are funded 40% by the county, and of course 60% by the state. So last year we proposed a budget with a total operating budget of roughly $39,000. And with the budget cut that we experienced from the county level, that trickled down to basically knocking us from a proposed operating budget of $39,000 to $15,000. So essentially what happened is for every dollar that we lose in county funding, it cuts our budget $2.50. So that's why I'm emphasizing how important it is for our county portion to be as near the requested amount as possible. And just for further emphasis, the year before we requested an operating budget of $45,000. So we had already tried to be a little bit more responsible and cost effective in our budgeting and our services already, but we still received a considerable cut. This year we're requesting a $37,000 operating budget. So we're still trying our best to maintain a responsible use of the funding that we are receiving. And also I wanted to make mention that, of course, everybody knows that we deal with planting trees and managing timber, but of course wildfire response is our #1 priority. And with the cut that we received this past year, that severely limited the ability to maintain equipment and purchase new needed equipment and allow us to be able to provide the services at the level we would really wish to be able to provide our county. So as the letter states, we've been recommended by the committee for the full funding, and I appreciate and wanted to emphasize the need that how important that is to us and our ability to serve the county. I thank you, and if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Zach.
I'll seize my time.
Good evening. I'm Tom Kilby with the Children's Center of Northwest North Carolina. I'm here representing a diversion program and prevention program, Allegheny Youth Justice Project and Teen Court Program, that is funded by the Department of Public Safety in North Carolina through the local Juvenile Crime Prevention Council with addition of required county match. We appreciate the support we've had from you, and we appreciate the county match that you provided for us in the past. This year our match, we need a little additional funding to support the program. Just want you to know we're here and we appreciate that. What we're asking for is all the money that comes through us is used to treat children and families here starts at Yadkin County, that's where I live, sorry, in Allegheny County. And we just appreciate your support and continued support and be happy to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you, sir. What's that name? Whoever's with the juvenile justice,
My apologies.
I'm sorry.
When I signed that, I thought I was signing it.
It's all good, it's all good.
That's not unusual, I'll be able to read it. Thank you. I just want to take just a minute. I'm Scott Perry. I'm with the Department of Public Safety, Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice. Emphasis on the juvenile side. I'm here in support of the Children's Center of Northwest North Carolina in that the proposal that's been requested, or the amount of funds that have been requested, that the commissioners would just take that into account. I've heard others say this, and I'm going to say it to the board just real quick, that, you know, an investment in the juvenile section, in our kids going forward, is a huge investment for any county. But particularly here with what this organization provides through our teen court program and our community service and restitution program here, without that funding, we wouldn't be able to continue. So we just greatly appreciate any consideration you guys may have in order to be able to, and ladies, to be able to provide that support for us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Allegheny Health. Ricky Brown.
Good evening again. I'm Ricky Brown, and this time I'm here to speak as a member of the board of Allegheny Health, to speak on behalf of the hospital regarding the proposed funding of the county's pledge to the hospital. In 2017, the county commissioners voted unanimously to pledge $700,000 over 7 years to the campaign to save our hospital and support the ownership transfer to Wake Forest Baptist Hospital and Hugh Chatham Hospital. 3 of our current board members tonight cast their vote in support of that commitment. This pledge was a part of a $6 million capital campaign that was required to make this transition possible. I would submit that our hospital is the county's single most important asset, and without the almost 300 companies and individuals that pledged $6.7 million to this effort, our hospital would have closed like so many other small community hospitals. This would have necessitated loss of medical care for our citizens and loss of jobs in the county. Instead, our hospital is being improved and modernized for a post-COVID rural medical model that will serve our citizens well. The county has made 2 installments of your pledge. Last year, due to financial difficulties facing the county, you requested not to make the 3rd installment, and we happily supported extending the pledge an additional year to help the county. By the way, the county's pledge of $700,000 represented a total per capita commitment of $65 per citizen, or $9.25 per year per citizen. As I mentioned earlier, almost 300 businesses and individuals contributed, but how many more may have but looked at the county contribution as their support through taxes paid? We will never know. This year we were told that the pledge would be funded at $85,000. This is a moral issue of meeting your commitment made to protect our most important asset. If you do not meet your obligation, we don't know how that will affect others' decisions to alter their ongoing pledges. Through the efforts of many, our hospital is undergoing renovations for the future. We've added more family practice care, are establishing an urgent care practice, and are continuing to provide excellent medical care to the community. I implore you to reconsider your budget proposal and meet the $100,000 annual payment. Your pledge was instrumental in our initial success, and I urge you to continue to lead us to a successful completion of our campaign. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Richard Dowden.
My name is Richard Doughton, and I'm here on behalf of Allegheny Health. First of all, I want to thank all 5 of you for the hard job you do and for the actually representing all the citizens in this county. And I know you have a lot of different needs, and everybody's going to speak here tonight thinks that their particular need is the most important one that needs to be funded. And I understand that, and I think they're all very important. The only thing I would say is, how much more important is it than to have health care for our citizens? I know as I age, I'm much more concerned about health care, and my family's had to use that hospital numerous times. In fact, my wife had to have tests there this week. And I dare say that there's not a family in this county that doesn't have to go to that hospital on occasions, and on either an emergent situation or for tests or whatever. And we wouldn't have that hospital, in my opinion, if the commissioners hadn't made their pledge when they made it. Because I'm not sure we could have raised $600,000 or $6 million at that time. And I think if you don't comply with your pledge, then we're going to have a hard time with others who still have pledges to make. In fact, I have my last installment to make next year in January. I just made my installment this year, and lots of other people are making pledges this year and next year too. I would implore you to reconsider and make the pledge that you agreed to make. I know that you couldn't make it last year, but it's just so important that we have health care in this county. It's not just for health care. If we don't have a hospital, we're not going to have economic development in this county. Who is going to move here if you don't have a hospital? I mean, if somebody gets sick in the wintertime, you got a blizzard, you can't get out of here. You've got to have a place to take somebody in that situation. And I've had that situation with my brother-in-law, Mac. We had to take him one night in a blizzard, and the ambulances couldn't get to Winston-Salem, and they were on the phone with doctors in Winston, and fortunately he survived that. But I'm telling you, in my opinion, there's nothing more important than that. The only reason I'm here tonight is because Rocky Prophet called me last night and said he couldn't be here. It's not that I wouldn't want to be here for the hospital, but Rocky has a longtime employee, a man that's worked for him for 30-some years, and he's having cancer treatments in another state. And Rocky had to take him to that cancer treatment today. He asked me to tell you on his behalf that he doesn't think there's anything any more important than that you comply with the pledge you made. And I would implore you to do it. And I think it's extremely important. And I know you've got all kinds of needs, as you've heard here tonight. And every single one of them is important. Every single one of them. But I want to thank you for what you do on behalf of me, my family, and all the citizens of this county, because it's a hard job. I sat over in Heather's seat for a number of years, and I know how hard it is, and hard on her. And I just want to thank you for what you do, but please reconsider this health care. I think it's so important. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lauren Brickalow. Wait a minute.
Hospital.
I'm sorry, if you don't mind, Mr. Prince.
Mayor Prince, resident of Allegheny County, unemployed. It's good to be on this side of the desk. The reason I want to talk on the hospital is I was sitting there when we made the decision. It was the right decision. We took a lead. And let's don't let that lead go the opposite way of seeing people say, well, if they cut theirs back, we can too. I think we should be good at our word. I think we should stand up for what we believe in. Had 2 occasions where took someone to the emergency room. It is an outstanding facility. It's something we got to be proud of, and it's something that every one of us are going to need at some point. So we can't afford to cut back or do anything that's going to disrupt the funding process that's in place. Thank you for what you do, and it's a lot easier on this end.
Thank you. Ms. Lauren.
Evening. I'm Lauren Veraclo, and I sent each of you an email earlier, and so thank you for your response. Everyone here today is present because they care about our community, and they represent an organization that is facing potential loss of funding that allows them to operate and to exist. We don't want to compete against each other. I don't want to compete against funding for the rescue squad or for the hospital or for efforts in economic development. We need all of that. These, in my mind, are all basic services. Very basic to any thriving community. I'm here speaking on behalf of the library, but also as an engaged and concerned citizen. Speaking to the library, there are those in our community who don't have access to technology, don't have a computer in their homes. They may rely on the library, and the pandemic showed us that gap, the important digital accesses to many families and kids, and how detrimental that digital divide can be. The library is just one of several of these agencies that need to be strong so that our community can be strong. Obviously, we don't have the money, the needed resources to keep all of these running in a functional and strong way as much as we believe and want them to. And it's my understanding that the quarter-cent tax referendum could possibly be reintroduced within a year or so. And I would like to encourage you, and I would like to encourage everyone here to play an active role in letting people know what that tax means, that it could potentially broaden our tax base without burdening local property owners. It gives us more leverage, and if we're hoping for economic development and tourism and all of these things to work together, I think we can shift that tax burden onto tourism and visitors, and I would really ask you to reconsider putting that back on the ballot, and we will do our part to educate the local citizens so that they see that we need all these services to be strong, and that would contribute to that tax base. I know you're in a tight spot, all of you, and I don't envy being in your position for 1 minute. But just know that we're cheering for you and that we believe in you, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you. I can only make out the last name. I believe it's Smith.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
And my third grade teacher both said that. I'm Rich Smith with the Department of Public Safety. I'm assigned to Allegheny County for the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. As you just said, I don't envy y'all. Now I understand why your budget committee asked such hard questions and spent 2 hours grilling Kay Luffman, our Juvenile Crime Prevention Council chairperson, and asking us hard questions. So I appreciate those questions because the challenges that I'm hearing tonight are, I'm sure it's a massive burden on y'all's shoulders. I'm here to talk about our Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. We've got 2 funded programs that we fund through our Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Last year, the county gave us a combined allocation of $90,728, $69,774. That is from the Department of Public Safety. The rest of the county is provided to support and expand services to help us meet the raise the age justifications. We were the last state in the union, North Carolina was the last state in the union to work with 16 to 17-year-olds in the juvenile system. Before that, they went into the adult system. So now we're able to work with those youth. Unfortunately, COVID kind of short-wired or cross, well, I'm not sure what. It really reduced the number of youth coming into our juvenile justice system. We are at a historic low. I think in our last Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, we have 3 youth on juvenile probation. We've never had that few youth. And the majority of that is can be directly linked to the COVID outbreak. Our anticipation is that we have not seen the effects of Raise the Age because of COVID. It short-wired that. And when we see this increase, I think we're going to need strong programs there that can be operational to meet those needs. Currently, we fund the Kids at Work program, which provides a culinary arts program and an interpersonal skill building, so they build life skills in there. Then it's an evidence-based model that's very effective. They also fund a restitution community service program for those court-ordered restitution that occurs. And then we have the teen court program, which is our new program. I came up here to witness one of the teen courts when they could become operational again, when they opened the courthouse. And the 3 youth that were in there, in most counties, most of the counties I serve, they would have all gone to juvenile court. The SROs, I'm hoping Tom Kilby is going to give me a head nod and say the SROs made those referrals. That's correct. The school resource officers made those referrals, as opposed to sending them through our juvenile justice system. And the research shows that the more that we can divert a youth from going into our system, the more likely they will not remain in that system. I think I'm approaching 3 minutes. So I would just like to say, I know that would that be the 3 minutes?
Timing.
I am so sorry. Thank y'all very much for your. No, I want to respect the 3 minutes, and I apologize. I forgot to put my timer.
Thank you, sir. Next, Mr. Steve Mason.
Steve Mason, here on behalf of the Allegheny Wellness Center. Just a real quick thank you for the time and effort that was put into the budget piece and the opportunity we had to converse in that and talk in regards to our needs and assessments with the Wellness Center. I thank you for all the efforts that you've had in the past in regards to helping assist with that, and I appreciate the designated appropriation that was recommended for the Wellness Center. And that's really it, so thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else that didn't get on the list want to speak, now would be the time. We went through our list of people that did register, so. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment hearing session at this time. Hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion here, second.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? Thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's been a good meeting.